Accountability, integrity, and excellence are among the core values that govern the Jamaica Mortgage Bank, JMB. And since its inception in 1971, the state-owned institution has been facilitating interim financing for developers who provide affordable housing solutions.
I've always said to people, we are the best kept secret in town. At one point in our history, the Jamaica Mortgage Bank was responsible for 40% of the housing starts in Jamaica. We were the only player in town that offered interim financing for housing development. We financed about 50 to 60 projects through the length and breadth of Jamaica.
Once a private limited company, the JMB evolved into a statutory body in 1973. The bank now falls under the Ministry of Transport, Works and Housing. The organization is governed by a board of directors that is responsible for the formulation of policies. The board reports to the relevant government minister, who has portfolio responsibility for the bank. The general administration of the bank is undertaken by the management team, headed by the general manager. The JMB has two broad objectives: to foster the development of housing island-wide and develop an active secondary mortgage market. And these objectives are carried out in the bank's core functions.
One is through what we call the primary market, and what that is that we provide interim construction housing finance to developers who are interested in developing housing primarily in the middle market. Secondly, we also facilitate home ownership through the secondary mortgage market, where we provide a pool of funds to financial institutions, primarily the credit unions. They then unlend those funds to potential homeowners at an affordable or competitive rate. And thirdly, we administer on behalf of the government of Jamaica what is called the Mortgage Indemnity Insurance, which comes about through the Mortgage Indemnity Insurance Act, where we insure the upper limit of a mortgage that a financial institution is willing to lend, thereby allowing the mortgagor or the potential homeowner to have a very small deposit.
The bank may also guarantee loans made from private investment sources for building development, lend money on security to be used for the construction of premises for private residential purposes or of a commercial industrial nature, and provide financial advice and assist in obtaining managerial, technical, and administrative services for persons engaged in building development in Jamaica. The JMB facilitates, through specific financial institutions, the on-lending to potential homeowners at a competitive rate.
The secondary mortgage market works perfectly in a low interest rate environment, where the financial institutions can unlend the money that we provide to the potential homeowner at a very competitive rate. So what we have done at the Jamaica Mortgage Bank is to revisit the model of the secondary mortgage market so that we can achieve the same objective, however use it a different model.
The bank has been administering the Jamaica Mortgage Insurance Program since the early 1970s. Under the provisions of the Mortgage Insurance Act, the bank can insure loans that are made by approved financial institutions to the purchaser of residential dwellings, residential lots, commercial buildings, and agricultural properties. The JMB is working on legislation that will see purchasers finding a lower deposit on their purchase.
Potential homeowners have to come up with anywhere between 5 and 15% of down payment, depending on the financial institution. As we speak, the government of Jamaica has tabled new legislation or revised legislation of the Mortgage Indemnity Insurance Act to facilitate even a lower down payment as low as 3%.
Throughout the years, thousands of Jamaicans, as a result of the JMB's financial involvement, have been able to acquire houses. In fact, in the 70s, the bank played a major role in the provision of temporary and long-term financing for the construction of houses throughout the island. Interim financing was provided to developers to construct over 2,000 houses in 10 housing schemes. In the 80s, the bank changed its focus and began upgrading squatter settlements so as to provide residents with reasonable modern amenities and legal ownership of the land. The bank also provided rural home improvement and mortgage loans and financed the construction of 1- and 2-bedroom houses, which were sold to National Housing Trust NHT contributors at a low price. In a bid to ensure that all Jamaicans are provided with affordable housing solutions, the JMB continues to find avenues in which the organization is able to expedite its lending process. And it is with this view that the organization has placed greater emphasis on the granting of interim construction loans for the financing of house construction and serviced lots.
We have about 3 government agencies in Jamaica that focus on housing solution. We have the National Housing Trust that primarily work with their contributors and lend monies to their contributors for middle to low income housing. We also have the HAJ that focusing on low income and social housing. And then there is the Jamaica Mortgage Bank. We believe that there is a void in the middle market, anywhere between $8 million and $15 million. And that's where we primarily focus on with developers who are willing to develop housing solution in that middle market. In addition, we know some of our competitors in the financial institutions will lend money to developers. However, it is well known in the market that the Jamaica Mortgage Bank brings additional value to any project, which includes project management as well as project monitoring.
In the St. Andrew area, the Oak Ridge, Riviera, and Meadowbrook Oasis are 3 developments that have been financed by the JMB.
I really appreciate Jamaica Mortgage Bank coming in at a time when we really needed their assistance. We've been in the business for over 5 years and we were feeling the economical crunch as well. So they came in at a time that we really needed them, and from now on going forward, that's going to be the bank of our choice.
Still in the St. Andrew area are housing solutions that will provide the average Jamaican with an affordable option. Kings Manor, the Colleges, and Long Mountain Country Club are developments that have been constructed through financing from the JMB.
I would certainly recommend the Jamaica Mortgage Bank to any developer, right? The interest rate is competitive, and I find them friendlier than the standard bank.
In respect of Jamaica Mortgage Bank, the greatest benefit, I believe, to the developer is the fact that they are extremely knowledgeable in the building industry itself. The Jamaica Mortgage Bank seems to understand and works with you, rather than, let's say, a commercial bank that will stick by the letter of the loan. The mortgage bank has flexibility.
Over in Portmore, the Jamaica Mortgage Bank has made strides. Several houses have been constructed in Garveymead, Marine Park, Westport, and Cumberland. In fact, these solutions were some of the earlier houses that the bank financed. Discovery Point and Greenwich Estate in St. Anne and Stonebrook Vista in Trelawney were also financed by the JMB. The bank will continue its thrust to finance safe and affordable housing for Jamaicans island-wide.
The Jamaica Mortgage Bank has seen some of its best days. It is our hope at the Jamaica Mortgage Bank that we will get back there. Some of the things that we need to do is to be self-funded. We need to be an autonomous and standalone organization where we have the ability to unlend monies to developers and cooperatives so that they can in turn lend those monies at a competitive rate to facilitate housing solutions for all Jamaicans.
The Jamaica Mortgage Bank, stimulating the housing industry 1970 and onwards.